Sorry about that, the video cut out when I had to pause it to use the phone as a, I'll cross this way actually, as like a debit card. So again, this is TINLA 131, this is part B. I will join the two bits together, but basically I'm in the lockdown in Brisbane. There's a bunch of eyes looking at me, and there has been a mask mandate since 21 minutes ago, so it's 6:21, and then, you know, I'm not wearing a mask. Was interested in Woolworths that they were offering free masks for people, and I declined, and we'll see what happens. So I won't do a good tour of Brisbane, but you know, you can have a look around. There's goods and legal, personal injury experts. I got myself some food because I'm hungry, and you're allowed to get food apparently. As I said, this is not legal advice. That's why the movie or TV series or internet series, whatever you want to call it, is called TINLA, which is short for This Is Not Legal Advice. So I did see some police on the side of the road that I'm going to cross earlier, but maybe they've moved. So, one other interesting thing is when the other video cut out, it accidentally set to delete after 30 days. So I have to try and stop that, or download my video and join it to this one for YouTube or whatever. There's a police officer on his phone that sort of followed me into Woolworths. I presume he's a police officer based on his police officer pants. Same style of pants, blue cargo pants or whatever. Maybe he keeps looking at me, so maybe he's going to arrange for police to give me a fine, and then I get to fight it in court. So that'll be fun. This might be a couple of police officers going to intercept me. So let's see how it goes. And again, it's sort of a bit obvious that I'm recording. If I close this case, then the screen might get touched and it might stop the broadcast or something like that. There's a cross river rail. As I said in a previous video, they're doing that up. I don't know if they're police officers or maybe they're just security guards, but obviously it's better if it's police officers, because police officers can fine me, even though off proper law, all promises of fines and forfeiture without prior conviction, and that's from your peers, are illegal and void. But the security guards or officers just went in the train station. That's a bit unfortunate. I can't see where the 4 police officers were from here that were across this side of the road. So after I went and bought my food in the shop, then I crossed the road to where the police officers were. So another interesting thing is, I'll just wait a second, but you can cross under this train station to get to the other side to the Botanical Gardens. Well, it's not Botanical Gardens, it's Roma Street Parkland, but it's like another botanical garden, if that makes sense. There's a man running with his umbrella. So let's see what happens. Just have to stop people trying to call me, because if I answer it or even go to text them, it stops this video, which is really annoying. So construction is underway. Thank you for your patience while we build a new underground station at Roma Street. So that's what they're going to do. And it's very dusty here, like concrete dust. breathing in. Again, if I had a mask on, then it would be filled with concrete dust when I'm walking past here, which would stop me from breathing. So anyway, let's see what happens. Hi, Kat. Oh, and there was someone else that commented on a previous video, but I didn't get to respond to the comments beforehand. And just around this corner is where the 4 police officers were talking to a young Asian man. Don't know if he got a fine, probably a warning, something like that, but they don't appear to be here now. So I don't really fancy walking through this dust, so I'll go walk past the police headquarters again, because over there they don't have the gurneys or whatever you want to call it, gantries above our heads, so it's even more dusty. You can probably even see the dust in the air. Can you see concrete dust everywhere? It's like a foggy look. Yeah, it was Paul who wrote earlier. Hi Paul. Yes, I didn't get to read your comments in a previous video, the TINLA 131 Part A, because the video didn't just unpause. So I'm not sure exactly what you said, but I can look at that later. It's hard to breathe here. So I'm just going to cross the road, so I'm away from some of the dust at least. So over there, as you can see, there's no like overhead gantry structures to at least make it less dusty. Maybe it's just as dusty over this side. But here I am again in Brisbane. 28 minutes ago they implemented a compulsory mask mandate, and people can only go out of their house for essential reasons, and obviously I'm not wearing a mask. So I'll just flip the camera around again. So as you see, I also showed it in previous video, there is basically construction work going on for the Roma Street station. Someone's littered on the police station's marble little wall. There's the police station that I'm walking by, and then I can't see any police officers, so that's interesting. I don't know why the other one that appeared to be on his phone or whatever, or radio or something, didn't get people to go to where I am. As you see, the street's even more desolate than they were half an hour ago when the lockdown first started. I'm running out of places to walk, but for it to be interesting. So there's the Brisbane Watch House, as I said. There's May Street up there, and this is Garrett Street. You know, how hard is it for someone to get a fine nowadays? Apparently very hard. You know, I've been not, I guess you could say, someone could interpret it as being trying to get a fine for a few months now, so that then I can challenge it in court without having to wait months and months. So with the current COVID restrictions court case, as I've called it, basically on the, I think it's the 24th of March, the Court of Appeal will hear it, but they are only going to hear it as a strict appeal, which means basically they are just looking at, does the district court in my situation have jurisdiction to hear matters, here we go, police car, to hear matters that are appeals from the Magistrates Court regarding the Peaceful Assembly Act in Queensland. But it's really more than that anyway, because the District Court isn't bound by, nor is the Court of Appeal, is not bound by, police just drive past me and don't pull up. And it's not like they had their sirens on. Anyway, so with the district court, that's not bound to strict appeals, nor really is the Court of Appeal, which is a Supreme Court's Court of Appeal, but they don't want to do a rehearing, or so rehearing is basically they look at what was said in the courts below, but you can adduce fresh evidence. Maybe there's a police officer now. No, I don't think he's a police officer. Anyway, so, or they could hear a proper appeal. So basically, they can hear a court case as if it was the first court or the court that's been appealed from, trying to keep things general, which makes it a bit vague, but there's a reason for that. So I'll cross the road here. Which way am I going to go? Might be, a bit silly if I was walking back and forth in front of the police station, headquarters, which is just down the road. I've already walked past it twice. Once to walk to the shop and once to walk away from the shop. So just wait until the cars are a little bit less noisy. So basically, with the Court of Appeal, they will determine if the district court had jurisdiction to hear an appeal from the magistrate's court, and really the other side, of course, is trying to say it can only be dealing with the the Peaceful Assemblies Act. But we'll see what happens in March on the 24th. And then, should I be successful, then it goes back down to the district court, and then they might finally answer, is it law to have COVID directions in Queensland when they haven't been gazetted, as an example. So it's a long drawn out process, so I thought I'd come to Brisbane and report from here with this lockdown. It started at 6 p.m. and will finish at 6 p.m. on Monday, so it's a 3-day lockdown, despite the fact that coronavirus has a 10 to 14 day, and then some people say longer than that, but incubation period. So i.e. you could get sick today and not even know about it for 16 days. So across the road over here, it's a pretty little fountain there. It looks like, I don't know, double helix nearly, like DNA strand. So anyway, people that, if they get fined, will challenge it in court, apparently, and also know what they're doing, hopefully, apparently don't get fines for this lockdown. So police have driven past, walked past police, a police officer followed me into Woolworths, so, and then also out of Woolworths, when I got my little ham and cheese and tomato croissant, and I got it baked or ovened or microwaved, griddled, whatever you want to call it, cooked somehow to melt the cheese. So just walk around here. So this is Roma Street feeder station. They've got razor wire on top of the fence, so I won't be aiming the camera specifically there, just in case they got some kind of weird sensitivity law or something. You have some backpackers there, chill backpackers. They got like I think on that roof as well you can, oh yeah, where they've got the glass balconies, you can go hang out on the roof. I've never been there though. There's summer house backpackers. There is city backpackers that has a big tower where you can go on the roof again. And hi Patricia. Yeah, so if police approach me and say, hey, where's your mask, then I'll just tell them that it's not the law and can they please give me a fine, and you know, see what happens. I don't have to be rude about it, but also if you are just too agreeable, then they'll use their discretion to not give a fine. Say, oh, you know, please wear a mask next time you're out or something like that. Or I can't even wear masks, I suffocate with them. There's another backpackers, Joe's Place Backpackers. And I'm just going to cross this road. Oh, not cross this road, I'll go around in a circle. And then I'll stop the video. If I don't have any luck. It's really like I'm fishing in a way. No, I'm the bait at the moment and there's no bites. Despite there being fishies going past me in their cars or walking there. So anyway, just have a pause and read some of the comments. So Kat says they want a communist world, and can't believe it's so quiet in there. If I was there, I'd get a fine for sure. Patricia says just tell them to get lost. Oh, sorry. I apologise, I misread that. I read it earlier though. Just tell them you're lost, i.e. the police. So there's a street down there. It's got like a little Santa Claus neon sign, but the zoom on this camera isn't very great. Kat says it's all a bit vague. The rules around masks and mask exemptions is not clear at all. Just wait until a motorbike passes. There's rubbish on the ground. Look, face mask. That's a responsible face mask person. Just chuck it on the ground. So Kat also talked with Queensland Health via Messenger today and asked them about mask exemptions and medical exemptions from wearing them. The answers were basically that it is up to the cops to decide if they want proof of your medical condition for an exemption. A pretty tree there and with lights all over it. Another one of those scooters. It says warning, push bikes only. There's more people not wearing masks. Might be chefs or something in that Bavarian cafe or pub or whatever. Or maybe they're just having a seat. It's weird too because Queensland didn't have a mask mandate, of course. And this mask mandate applies to residents, it actually says. So I'm not even a resident of these areas, so therefore it doesn't even apply anyway. There's another ground of it being stupid. But residents of, what's the areas? Greater Brisbane, Logan, and there might have been somewhere else. I don't even have a TV, so I only recently found out anyway. There's Fritzenberger. I've been in the Lord Alfred pub there once. It was pretty fun. With a friend named Sean who was going to do like podcasting. And Lefty's Music Hall was pretty cool. I'll try and zoom in on that one. They have lots of live music and it's like a very old-fashioned kind of setup. They got like a big just walk over here. They got like a big veranda kind of thing, balcony, and then, you know, it's very elongated and they've got a stage along there as well. So there's Palace Cinemas too. I went there once. This is the barracks. This video is probably getting too boring, not having police approach me or whatever and find me. There's a Lime bicycle or Lime scooter helmet someone left there, and Yeah, so Kat points out about it's gross throwing mask rubbish on the ground. I've seen masks on the ground today already, and also I think yesterday as well. But, you know, if people are sick and they're breathing in a mask, why aren't there biohazard bins everywhere, as a lot of other people have pointed out? But also, you know, if there's no biohazard bins, then there's all these germs just blowing around, and, you know, little kid might pick it up or something. What's this, mummy? What's this, daddy? That kind of thing. So Kat believes the mask is to try and silence us. Yeah, so they used to have punishments, like if anyone's seen the man in an iron mask, as an example, they also used to put witches in those masks. I don't remember what the actual mask in the man in the iron mask looked like, but, you know, full face covering with just a mouth hole, maybe a couple of holes for the nostrils, and a couple of eye holes. And I don't remember exactly, but I think they could clamp people's tongue on the outside of that, as opposed to chopping their tongue out as well. So, you know, that was to censor people and censor witches, so they couldn't cast magic spells and whatever. And I first found out about those, I think, when I was about 10 in the London dungeon, and it's starting to rain all over me now. But the London dungeon's really cool. If anyone's been to London or going there soon, then, you know, I think it's really cool. So maybe you want to go there. I don't know how expensive it is though. It's like on the Gold Coast, when I was little, used to go to Warner Brothers Movie World and Sea World, and just got to stop my phone ringing again. And I haven't been to Wet n Wild. Dream World I've also been to as well, but now it's like, I don't know, $80 or $100 a ticket. May as well just pay an extra $20, $30 and get a season ticket. But I haven't been to those places since I was a little kid as a result. Or maybe I was 18 or something, I don't remember. Anyway, so I'll stop this recording now and get on with life. Cheerio, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, send some money if you like. Cheerio. Arjay here, and this is TINLA episode 131. TINLA is short for This Is Not Legal Advice, Nor Is It. So here I am in Brisbane. I am walking to a shop to go get some food, and it is 6:06 PM where the mask mandate has just occurred, purportedly in Brisbane. And I'm going to just cross the road here and do a little tour of Brisbane, and maybe point out a couple of interesting buildings, that kind of thing as well, maybe. So here's an ambulance service, although they only seem to have fire trucks in there. The building that has the reverse coloured bricks, i.e. mainly red and a little bit of yellow, is a fire brigade. They do have fire trucks within those doors, and this ambulance is the mainly yellow and a little bit of red. So as you see, the streets are quite quiet. People are allowed out for essential things like buying food, etc. Sorry about the wind noise. So we'll see what happens. So as you see, I don't have a mask on, and nor will I wear one. Can't even breathe with them, and they don't even stop viruses. But instead of showing my ugly mug, I'll show Brisbane. Hi Kat, yeah, it is very quiet, but the lockdown just started 8 minutes ago, so obviously it'll get a lot more quiet. And dude, look looking at me with like a death stare perhaps, or just looks at me funny, whatever, since I don't have a mask. Wonder if I get an interesting comment. Maybe it's just coincidence and he's just looking ahead. So how are you, Kat? Just cross the road here. So as you see over here, there's Roma Street Station. This is Roma Street, and they're fixing up the train station, expanding it to do something. It is called the Cross River Rail, so I guess they're adding lines to go across the Brisbane River in a different location to basically cut down on, you know, congestion, that kind of thing. So we're walking up towards the police station, which is the police headquarters in charge of all the police in Queensland. So that'll be interesting. And this is a like watch house or little prison. They've got the police prosecutions corps. So in other words, when you know you get a fine or in trouble with the law, they have the prosecutors, and they'll often be the police prosecutors. Just walking past. Really need like a stick to hold my phone. What state do you live in, Kat? I'm not wearing a mask either, obviously. There's a lot of rental bikes here you can get. I don't know if those ones are electric or not. Just hide my double chin. But, you know, at least you can rent a bike if you want. There are so many people renting like electric scooters here, and they just dump them on the road. Or there's another rental bike company that has, I think they're orange bikes, might be the same as the other scooters that you see around. So this is the police headquarters. So I'm just walking by there. Oh, there's a sign. So Queensland Police Headquarters, 200 Roma Street. And there's some of the train station where they're doing it up. In the daytime, at least until recently, there was a part of a building there, and they were banging on the there's a police station, by the way. They were banging on the concrete structure to knock it down with basically the arm or boom or whatever you want to call it of a backhoe or whatever the technical term is. Yeah, I'm careful, so guess I maybe have to watch out more for people that don't like people not wearing masks than the police. There's one of those orange little scooters. So we've got security guards in places now too. I don't know if that lady's a security guard in there. I don't know, maybe she's just a resident. Make sure I beat the button. So there's Abbey Apartments. I don't know anything about it besides they've got a sign there that says Abbey Apartments. And they have a little cafe place called Chenois. Behind that train station is the park at Roma Street, where I was recently at, serving some people some legal filings, and then some crimes happened against myself, let's just put it that way, I allege. So anyway, again, there's more of those bike places, so you can park in a different area than you rent the push bike from. bit annoying in this case because it's so obvious that I'm filming too, so. But such is life, and there's some police across the road apparently fining someone. There's another man coming my way that doesn't have a mask. There's 4 police officers over there apparently fining a person or speaking to them. The man coming towards me does have a mask, sorry, his like skin colour. So I'm going to Woolworths, which is just around the corner here. And I know which way to cross the road to, you know, meet my fate, so to speak. Seems very quiet here. I don't know if they've maybe closed the Woolworths early, I think. It's not like there's people lined up at another shop I went past, which was Coles. They had like ticker tape or whatever you want to call it out the front, and lady counting how many people going in and out. That kind of thing. There's a man with no mask. Good on him. Man driving his car doesn't have a mask. There's Elmo strapped to a car, the front of it. I won't zoom in because otherwise, you know, people see his number plate more easily, whatever. That's fine. Here's a green light. Subway appears to be closed, but the sign says it's open. No, they got some people in there. Where is this Woolworths? Don't know if their sign's normally lit up. Maybe it's not a lit up type of sign. It's starting to sprinkle with rain as well. I'm looking forward to at Woolworths, if it's open, is maybe like people just went in there, but like a sausage roll or pie, something like that. See what else they have. Though I do have to use my phone as a debit card, which is a bit annoying, so hopefully the transmission doesn't cut out. Yeah, so I saw in a supermarket cat that there appeared to be big run-ins, or whatever way you want to call it, run-ons in the Coles that I went to. And like half the fruit shelves were devoid of food, that kind of thing. So maybe I just aim the camera down when I buy some food here. Getting a phone call, so I'll just, how am I going to do this? I just have to check if it's going to cut out when, I think there's a police officer following me, so maybe I'll not cut out yet, but I'll just have to use my phone as a, what do you call that, as a tap and go thing, but then, you know, I'll just go get some food and then go back to where I came from, so that'll be interesting. So the question is, if I change it to the tap and go settings, does it cut this video out? If it does, hopefully I don't get a fine in the meantime, because then it won't be, you know, broadcast, but the screen it pauses the broadcast, so I'll just do that and I'll be back in 2 minutes or so.